Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Recording!
I don't know why it always has to be a competition with you.
I'm not making a competition, I'm just announcing that I'm recording. It's me, this is me entering into the room. That is the podcast.
Okay, well, sometimes it just feels like you're a 4:30 radio host coming to you live on 99.5, you know?
I hate to break it to you, but we do have an audio show, so that's maybe the energy we're supposed to have.
Damn it.
Welcome back, everyone. We are cruising on the 405 right now. Roll down your fucking windows, and we're gonna play some
Katy Perry.
Katy Perry.
And then next up at 5 o'clock... Stay tuned to this fantastic new hit from, hold on, just spinning my dice. It's Normani. Playing her new single, hold on, rolling my next dice. Bango Bango Bongo, I guess, actually.
Yep. This, okay, you are envisioning a media utopia, I think, in terms of content, where just everything, we have all of the keywords and we have all of the types of things that we can do, so now all we have to do is put them on dice and just fucking throw them, and then whatever we roll is what happens on the internet that day.
Yeah.
And I think that's just how we have to do it now.
I think that allows for powerful creativity.
Sure. Yeah. We've all been stunted by the formula and having to be original. What if we just let
fate decide?
Let the dice, let the social media dice do it.
I think that the current artists that we have are incredibly powerful. They're incredibly creative.
Yeah.
And I think that a current radio could use that creative boost as well.
Sure, yeah.
And so why not have that reflected on all sides of media?
Yeah.
That's
Today,
all I'm saying.
We're going to record a pop song by the Rolling Stones. It's like, whoa, we gotta do it. We gotta scramble. Someone get the Rolling Stones.
Yep.
We're gonna make a Taylor Swift banger with the Rolling Stones.
Today's Tiny Desk concert is Billie Eilish. Featuring St. Vincent.
Okay.
And they're playing Sex on Fire.
Yes.
Tell me
That's
that would
very
not
good.
Tell me that would not be amazing.
No, it would be.
So then you give it that commercial break. Everybody scrambles.
Yeah,
right? They assemble.
You call everyone you know in the biz.
Yeah.
You make it happen, baby. It's Hollywood.
All the flying cars, assemble.
Yeah, because it's the year 3000.
So the Jonas Brothers are filming it then. And
they're the presidents. All of them.
And it's beautiful and wonderful.
Yeah.
And us, the commentators, are there. Hi, welcome to Into the Twilight. We're examining toxic masculinity, as well as our ads are funded, and the show is funded by our Tiny Desk concerts.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome to the future.
Thank you
on
very
this
much.
Monday morning.
Hell yeah.
I'm just saying, why not bring a little bit of creativity to the world?
Yeah. No,
why not spice up your life?
Okay. Spice Girls are definitely on the dice. The Dice Girls.
The Dice Girls? Oh. All I'm saying is, why not think big? Why not reimagine if Lizzie McGuire and Aaron Carter could come back just for one more time? Just once more.
This is you, like, running up to a TED Talk and just, like, totally hijacking this PowerPoint and be like, wait, but what if, hold on, guys, I have an idea.
Just think about it. Josie and the Pussycats. One more time. Just one more.
What? Just once.
Just one more.
But this time it's reggae. Come on, guys. Just hear me out.
Well,
Listen, I feel like you're not yes-anding me right now, and I feel very attacked.
Okay. Yes.
It's supposed to be a supportive space.
And?
Thank you.
So Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah.
And smooth jazz.
Ooh, yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They bring that thinking about capitalism, breaking down those norms, but also doing it in a very, like, sultry Jessica Rabbit kind of way.
Anyway, this is Into the Twilight. It's technically a Twilight podcast, but it's also a 50 Shades of Grey podcast. It's also a podcast about you, and it's also about weird Shark Tank ideas that we come up with as soon as we start recording.
That's true.
So, welcome.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yes. This is, we're here today.
Yeah.
Hi.
We're alive. We're doing it.
Fuck. I
We
mean,
made it another day.
my corporeal form is here. I don't know that my husk of a shell is here, but I am floating somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
I'm in the supernova space or something right now. Cody, how the fuck are you doing right now?
I'm doing good, man.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
We're just out here. I found out that one of those weird, like, guilty pleasure YouTubers that we've talked about on the show before.
Yeah.
Found out that this week that they're like 20 years old and they're buying a house.
Oh my
so
God.
that definitely rocked my socks. And then I also found out that they're saving themselves till marriage.
Oh.
And I feel like I got duped by, like, Christian YouTube that I didn't know. I thought I was safe, and then it was like, oh, just kidding.
Yeah.
So I feel a little weird right now, but it's fine.
Yeah. I made the mistake today of accidentally, like, pressing the trending page on my YouTube app.
It's a bad move.
And then, you know, like, I got sucked in of, like, what are the teens watching right now?
Sure.
Like, what is corporate YouTube deciding to push on here?
Right.
Did you see that thing that was going around a couple days ago on Twitter about, like, how Conan revolutionized the fucking podcast thing?
Boy, fucking did I. Jesus. Thank you. Yeah, it's all up. Every just big celebrity is, and now finally podcasts are good and popular. Cool.
Thank you, Conan O'Brien, for starting podcast 6 months ago.
My fucking podcast king.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you allowed us to start this job 6 months ago, you know?
Yeah, it's honestly an honor.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was looking on the trending page, and like a day ago, fucking, I'll just make up a name for him, Bobrick may have bought a really fancy car for one of his best friends as a surprise, and it had like 7 million views. And I was like, sorry.
Great.
Just guys being dudes buying fucking Lamborghinis for their friends. Right. Good job, Bovid.
What's better than this?
Yeah, just guys being pals, you know?
Getting a brewski and riding in my Lambo with my friends.
While I'm over here trying to figure out how to fund my classroom, and someone sends me erasers, and I literally start sobbing. It's like, living the dream. It's great.
It's cool. I'm really happy, and things are fine.
Yep. It's all great. I just, love this world. So, anyways, life's great. World's on fire, but, the generation before us didn't start the fire. It's fine.
Listen, I was also gonna make a "we didn't start the fire" joke, and I'm glad you just beat me to it. We're on the same wavelength here.
To be fair, like, a lot of people have been making that joke on Twitter. It's not mine. Like, I didn't invent comedy,
it wasn't
okay?
mine either.
No, I wasn't making that dig at you. I was making it to
it's Billy Joel's joke.
I know.
If anything.
I've been seeing a lot of people that are bitter on Twitter.
Yeah.
There's something there. And and it's like, listen, you know, we
right. Of course.
don't ever, I mean, please, clock me, but don't ever fact check me. Like, this is, listen, we come here for, like, an hour just to, like, live, okay?
Yeah, we're just trying to live our lives here.
Yeah, our method of coping is literally talking about toxic masculinity. So, like, what do you want us to do? It's all fine. Speaking of current events that are actually, like, our version of positive and healthy and stuff.
Self-care.
Yes, we have so many this week that are good things to talk about. News that I would say one actually wants to look forward to.
Yeah.
Which is not me every morning.
No.
But I made, like, every day when I ask my Google Home, I'm like, all right, tell me the news. and
okay.
And every time I'm like, you know, my version of alcohol, which is literally just my smoothie enhanced. I'm like, all right, let's do this. Just like me putting an extra scoop of Metamucil in here, like, all right, let's do this
ready
thing
for the day. Brace yourselves.
Yep. But yes, so we have so many. First off, and we put this kind of an emphasis this time. I don't know that it's most important, but it's at the top of the list. Would you like to start us off?
It's K2 kissing news.
I hope
Corner.
Yes, thank you. I hope that we never. I know that one time we had actual, like, editing music, but I hope that we never actually continue that, and it's just us making versions of that same sound.
Listen, we're just so good at it.
I know, it's just so.
I don't want to deprive us of the joy of making air horn sounds.
I agree. All right.
Anyway, pew 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 pew. K2 kissing corner. Pew 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 pew. So I feel like it was just a few short weeks ago where we had the same corner in which K2 was back with Stella Maxwell and things were right in the world.
Yes.
But guess what? Things change in an instant.
Life goes on.
And things are different now. Because she was caught smooching with screenwriter Dylan Meyer.
Pew, pew, pew.
And there's some cute photos of them being real cute.
Love it.
In fucking Hollywood or something. You know how it is. Just kidding, it's New York City. It's New York City. I've read this article. It's New York City,
just
baby.
On a stoop, as you do.
Yeah. A stoop can be anywhere, really, if you think about it. Anyway, so they were caught smooching, and that's basically it. But the internet
freaked out.
Had a whole kerfuffle about it.
Because how dare you kiss more than one person in your life?
Right. It's not allowed.
If you kiss, even if your aunt kisses you, you're not allowed to kiss anyone else in your life.
That's it. That's your one kiss.
Yep, that's it.
Sorry.
It's just the rules.
That must be the rules. But yeah, that was great. And the pictures were cute, so go look at them.
Can I just say, thank you. Thank you so much. I love the name Dylan as, like, a gender neutral name.
Yeah,
it's so good.
So cute.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love the, like, nickname Dill. Love it.
See, that I am less positive on.
Are you telling me that I love a good dill pickle reference? You know what I mean?
Right, I was gonna say, it just reminds me of pickles.
Are you telling me that you wouldn't like a Rugrats reference?
These are all the associations I came up with in my brain, and which is why I formed a negative opinion about the nickname Dill.
Wow. Hater.
I mean...
Too much haters.
Yeah,
Wow.
I guess I'll go drink my fucking haterade. I'm sorry.
Wow. It's painful.
Anyway, can you talk about this cut piece, please? I need
Okay. All right. Here's what I'm gonna manifest into this universe. I'm just gonna put it out here.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I want any of you to bother her. Because as if you know her, you know that she gets bothered by a lot of people in her life.
Yep. Uh-huh.
All I'm going to say, and I want to manifest this into the universe, is if we could ever get a guest on this show. 1, I would love to get Catherine Hardwick. Because I just want to know the tea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
2, I would love, and it's not even in order. I'm just putting out a list that I would love to manifest into this world.
Yeah.
I would love to get Dana Schwartz on here.
Hell yes.
Because I feel like on a lateral level, Dana has been oscillating in this world and existing and has a lot of experience with Twilight and like 50 Shades. Like, Dana knows, but does not know about us. And I just feel like there's a lot of experience here.
Sure, yeah.
And so a couple days ago, when you are listening to this, there was a piece posted on The Cut titled, "I think about this a lot. The time Robert Pattinson blatantly lied on the Today Show."
Just,
and
chef's kiss.
Just right off the bat, my mind is buzzing.
I am enthralled.
Yeah, I'm already in it.
Edge of my seat.
Because knowing what I know about RPatz, it's like, I know how quickly he wanted this interview to be done.
Right.
And so I'm already like, what did he say?
What could he possibly have said?
Yes.
Robert.
And so I'm reading a little bit more now, trying to figure out what he said. And of course he was being interviewed by Matt Lauer, which, and so we're finding out now that it was an interview about his role with Water for Elephants. And he's talking about his experience with the circus. And RPatz is like, or Matt Lauer is talking about, like, if he ever dreamed about running away to the circus, and RPatz is like, no. And then RPatz says, quote, "The first time I went to see the circus, somebody died. One of the clowns died." And so, of course, Matt Lauer's like, and he like looks.
Sorry, what?
And now I'm just making this up, but I'm imagining he's looking over at one of the producers to the side, like, somebody fact check this now.
Right.
But he's like,
also it's like 6 a.m. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, weird tone for the Today Show without prepping this. And so he's like, well, how did he die? And so Pattinson immediately, according to Dana, is like, his little car exploded. The joke car exploded on him. And so now Matt Lauer is like, are you being serious right now?
Hey, dude, what the fuck are you saying?
There are parents watching this with their like, the Today Show is very much marketed for a specific demo.
Right.
There are people...
I'm just imagining, like, Robert blurting that out.
Oh, yeah.
And then Matt Lauer, like, pressing him, being like, sorry, what? And then he has to be like, give more detail, and he's just like, yeah, the joke car just, like, exploded.
Just trying to call his bluff and being like, of course it did. What are you talking about?
It's like, oh yeah, then how did this fucking clown die in a circus? Trying to think of that. He's like, alright, I'll fucking one-up you. The joke car exploded. Eat shit, Lauer.
Yeah, yeah, he saw through Matt Lauer's shit from the beginning. Because he's like, yeah, my parents had, everybody ran out. It was terrifying. It was the only time I'd ever been to the circus. Fuck off. He didn't say fuck off on national television. And so people, of course, like, ran with the story, saying that, like, on their headlines, for Robert Pattinson, circuses are scarier than vampires. And so, of course, like, later on, he says, like, yeah, I said those things, but I actually made the whole thing up. Like, it's coming back to haunt me. And when he is talking about this, like, later on, he was like, it was, like, early on some sort of, like, New York premiere, but I don't remember, like, what show it was or why I said it. And I'm so glad that Dana, like, recalls this story, because I don't remember it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it would have just been something lost to a couple people's memory. And this is a beautiful story to me that is so on brand for his character.
Yeah, it's poetic.
Too important to be lost in the histories. I'm so glad it is archived now for forever.
Yeah.
Thank you, RPatz, for being so on brand. Sometimes it hurts me to think about, actually. I almost need to, like, rev up for what we're about to talk about next.
Give me some fucking push-ups.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk about this, and also terrified a little bit.
Yeah.
Because this movie that we are about to talk about next is, like, literally all of my fears in, like, one thing. But I'm very excited. So, why don't you lead us into this?
Hell yeah. So Casey's in a new fucking movie, buckos. And it's called Underwater.
Oh my god. Okay.
And it's basically, it feels very like Cloverfield.
It does.
To me, at least when watching the trailer, where it's just like a crew on a ship, and shit just gets fucked up because of, like, natural disasters, and it's scary, and they're underwater and trapped and whatever. And it looks good, I think. I'm not sure. I think it looks good. Casey's definitely hot in it, so I think I'm a little subject there, but I think generally it looks fun. The only thing I don't like is that TJ Miller is there, because TJ Miller sucks.
Yes.
But everything else seems kind of promising.
So, right, like, first impressions of this, seeing Keisu gave me heart palpitations. This whole trailer gave me heart palpitations, because it's, like, in a submarine, underwater, and there's, like, things here. So I was like, oh, no, because that's, like, all of my biggest fears. But did Keisu give you any, like, Milo Thatch feels?
Oh, yeah.
It gave me a lot of, like, Atlantis feels there, and I was like, ooh, I did not realize that I needed this until right now.
Yeah, she's got those tiny, like, wire-rimmed round glasses on.
Yes.
That are very Milo from Atlantis.
Yeah,
she's got, like, this uniform on. And it's so hot. And she's got the buzz cut, the blonde buzz cut. Ooh!
Seeing you retweet that picture of her in that suit next to RPatz in that suit did something for me that I did not. I was like, I did not. Like, what? Yeah. What is
Excuse
happening? Me. You both cannot do this, like, within
I'm
12 months.
And bisexual. You can't just do this.
Like, it hasn't even been 12 months, folks. Like, you two,
I know.
You need to have your managers talk to each other.
Yeah.
Like, even if you two, like, aren't talking, like, have your people talk to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very interested in, like, learning more about this movie, especially because I didn't even know that it existed. I didn't even know that it was, like, in production.
Yeah, I think it kind of all surprised us a little bit. I don't know how much people knew about this before it came out.
Yeah, so I'm it has my attention, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Especially because it is very much like that adventure, horror, but also like a thriller. I'm very curious to see how it, like, navigates that line there.
Yeah.
So, I'm I want to know more, for sure. I will say, though, to give you credit, these chapters were a little bit more engaging than usual. If only for the fact that they were so different than the TV show.
It was like reading something totally foreign that we've never done before.
I agree.
And also the chapters were, I feel like, a lot longer than what we've been getting recently.
Yeah, chapter 31 was quite long.
She's thick.
Yeah. Which was an interesting change of pace. I feel like the more that we get into the back half of this book, I'm just wondering, was there like a creative difference with the TV show writers? Because it feels like, or were they just thinking that the source material was not dynamic enough for TV? Because there's so much in this that is just completely different in the TV show that and I mean, it makes sense, and I think we'll get into it as we look through these chapters, but it plays well in the text. I'm just wondering if it just didn't play well when they tried to adapt it for, like, TV. So, very interesting. When we last left off, Curtis and his Obama-masked teens beat the shit out of Joe, which was a very interesting place to leave off.
Right, and we all thought he was dead. Turns out...
It turns out he just got the crap beat out of him, and he lost his Gap hat, which was the main casualty, it seems like.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So he's now driving in chapter 31 to Little Compton in Rhode Island. He does not want you to forget that he is headed to Little Compton, Rhode Island.
The LC, baby!
The LC, not Lauren Conrad.
I wish.
The LC. He's also wearing Benji's Figawi hat that has the name Spencer Hewitt in like stitched into it, which will be of importance later. The nothing works in this car, and so it is cold, and also I think one of his eyes is swollen, and so he can't see in the snow. Like, everything is going wrong.
It's a bad time for Joe.
Yes, things are not going well, especially because apparently every radio station is playing Taylor Swift, which is his personal hell, it seems like, because he goes on for it for a very long time. About how much he hates Taylor Swift and that this is also Taylor Swift's turf, and he hates Taylor Swift, and also Taylor Swift, which is very interesting. We find out that Beck is also en route and has stopped at a place called Mystic, Connecticut, to get pizza, in which she tweets something with a lot of weird hashtags. Where she says pizza, like she posts a photo of it and hashtags it with hashtag pepperoni, which I don't, at least in the TV show, she's apparently like okay at social media, and here she seems so bad at it, and it just seems comical because in the TV show anyways, like Hana is like an Instagram like influencer, yeah. So you'd think at some point Hana would have like looked at her Instagram and been like, or at least her Twitter, and been like, you don't do this. This is not how this works.
Yeah.
But oh well.
I also thought that was funny because like Joe was overanalyzing all of her tweets and stuff. And he was like, oh, you take a photo at Mystic Pizza because you're a girl. It's like, yeah, Mystic Pizza, the movie that only women liked.
Apparently.
Remember? Yeah.
Yeah, he is reading into that too much. And gives us this, like, backstory of a girl named Mo that it was just the weirdest story I'd ever heard.
Yeah.
And he's still tweeting from Benji's account, to which I guess this was the complete last straw for Beck, because she unfollows him and then sends him a DM.
Yeah, maybe not the right way to do that.
Not the best, Beck.
No.
and still driving. And then this is where, I guess this still happens in the TV show of him getting, like, hitting the deer and then hitting the tree and all these things. Apparently, though, when he wakes up, because he'd only been out for like 20 minutes, he, I guess because the car is still old, he was still able to, like, get out and things like that. He finds that he's, what did he say, like 200 feet from Peach's house. Oddly convenient.
Yeah. Interesting.
Very good. So this was the thing that happened in the TV show too, where he's like already beat up and then has the car wreck, so he's like double sore. But then in the TV show, this was like where that cop came, and he was like, super good, bud. Just drive on your merry way. But that doesn't happen until later in here. And so he then goes through this very long stretch where he is like basically like crawling like a zombie to get these 200 feet to Peach's house.
Yeah, just like foot by foot.
Yes, just very much whining, and it's still like snowing, and so he's having to be very careful to like literally not drip blood on this powder snow.
Right.
And
that no one's ever walked on because there's like 10 people that live there.
Yes.
in
And
the whole town.
It's, as if you've ever lived in a place with snow, listeners, like trying not to make a lot of sound because it's snow, and so it'll like ricochet, and also because there's 10 people that live there, and so everyone will hear this because it's the winter in a beach area, so no one is around.
Yeah.
And so it gets to a part where he can now see what he thought was going to be a cottage, which, like, dude, it's Peach, so, like, it's not going to be a cottage. It's this huge mansion. He sees Beck and Peach, and, of course, like, they have all these, like, grand windows that they don't have their curtains drawn, which seems odd, because it's the winter, but sure. And it's Peach, so she's blaring, like, Elton John and stuff. And Joe is, like, freaking out, because I guess he sees Beck in the gray sweater, and the gray sweater is, like, a huge thing, still.
Right. Fuck, you know I don't like that sweater.
Yeah, he's, like, freaking out. And so he's, like, this is, I guess, the part where he realizes, like, oh, fuck, like, what am I gonna do out here? I'm just, like, Charlie in the window.
Come up with a plan, did I? Huh.
So...
Guess I'll just hope they never see me.
Yeah, I'll just stay out here by this window forever, I guess.
It's 12 degrees. I'm dying.
And so this is the part where he starts to realize, like, there's a neighbor here. Can't go through the front door. It's locked. Can't go through the back door. But I guess they have a boathouse. I'll just sneak in here and chill, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
This is where the cop thing happens. And he's, like, coughing up blood. Joe, not the cop. That'd be creepy. Yo,
the cop's a fucking demon.
That would be terrifying.
Yeah. It just turns into, like, a horror, like, full horror.
That would make this book a lot more interesting, actually.
Yeah, I'd be less bored for sure.
Yeah. He has to, like, now it's just, oh god, what is that zombie movie or TV show that's on? It's like, he has to survive all of these zombies just to get to Peach's house, and it's just, like, 30 feet away. I would definitely read the rest of this book. But apparently his hat, like, fell off while he was sleeping, and so the cop thinks his name is Spencer or whatever. To the point where the cop is like, so we saw your car, and you broke into this person's house, so we need to kind of figure out what's going on with you, bud.
There's something we probably gotta do here.
Yeah. But it's
probably some precautions I gotta take.
Yeah, it's also, like, Rhode Island, and he sees, like, a white dude with, like, a Figawi hat, which I guess means he's, like, rich, question mark.
Right.
And so, apparently, this cop just, like, drives him to the hospital, because Joe was like, no ER. And I guess the cop was fine with that. None of this seems real. Like,
it's so weird, and it takes up so much time for nothing. I'm like, why does any of this matter?
Yeah, none of it seemed... I'm glad in the TV show, like, they definitely pared this down.
Yeah.
Because, at least in the TV show, they set up that he, like, got the address to then call... Like, it makes sense at this point. I don't know how they're gonna tie this part in. Because they spend most of this chapter doing this, of the cop, like, taking him to the hospital, having him get his face stitches, having him, like, getting all this stuff done for ultimately the cop to not really question him, just get his address and then just drop him off at a train station, I was confused by that part because the cop said that his car was going to be fixed up, but he was like, take a train station, glad you have your emergency credit card, you don't have your ID because it was stolen, but I want you to take a train station and not your car for unknown reasons. Like, I can't take you back to Rhode Island.
Right.
I want you to take a train station. It was all... it felt like so much unnecessary text. Just a lot of shaming about people that were addicted to Oxycontin.
Yeah, it was really surreal.
I agree.
It's a very weird scene.
Yeah. Just a lot of Joe being like, I know how to con a cop. He didn't even think to question me more about the fact that I didn't, like, or like I still had my ID and stuff like this. Whatever. But it ends up, the chapter ends up that he doesn't take the train because he still has all his stuff. And he ends up getting a cab to go back to LC. And the taxi driver's like, did you mean Little Compton?
You know what I fucking meant.
Yeah, and it was a very long chapter. Lots of hospital stuff. That was a lot of filler about that cop. But 32 skips a lot. I guess Joe wakes up, he says now, in like a different beach house. It is warmed up significantly now, to the point where before, I guess it was like 12, and now it is, I guess he says, like 50 degrees, which apparently feels like summer.
Well, actually, it was 12 with the wind chill of go fuck yourself.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that reminder. If we're being
accurate to Joe's description. That was the only part that, in this whole book, that, like, made me laugh. Like, genuinely. I was like, oh, this is kind of good.
Yes.
Everything else you say is garbage and bad, and I hate it. This is good.
Thank you for reminding me about that. That was very good.
Yeah.
He does say, oh, that's right, because Peach and Beck are running on the beach, and so this is the time where he was like, oh, yes, gonna do bad crimes at this point. Gonna go get into their house and go pee in a cup, because that's what I did in the TV show. So he does eventually get into their house. He marvels at the fact that they're rich because they have a whole drawer full of iPhone chargers. As if you cannot go to the store and get, like, a cord for, like, $3.
Right.
But they're rich. Maybe they have, like, official Apple ones or something. So, he was very excited about that. Apparently, Peach is rich enough to have a extra house, but still uses a Keurig, which I've been told by coffee drinkers are gross. I don't have thoughts because I don't drink coffee, but that's what I've been told.
It's I don't even know if they're gross. They're just kind of like not good for the environment.
Yes. Okay.
This is the pod thing. We have one. My roommate and I have one. But we have the little like compostable pods or like refillable pods.
Oh. Okay.
But they're not ideal because like it's very much like a diluted coffee situation. Whereas if you're doing like a French press or like a regular coffee situation, it's more like there.
That makes sense. I literally was a barista for like my freshman year of college, and I still know nothing about coffee because I didn't drink it. So like,
hey,
I don't know.
It happens. That's your life. That's your truth.
Yeah. I don't even remember them like Keurigs being a thing when I was in college. So I don't know. I have nothing to say. He's also like, I use a dish rag because, of course, they don't have paper towels. I'm sure they're saving the world. Which is why I was like, then why do they have a Keurig?
Right. Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's fine. And so he's, like, super excited about that. I did find it weird, though, that if he was, like, assuming that they were just starting on their run, why his first step was not, like, I'm gonna go pee and take a shower. Like, I don't know. That would have been, if he was because he's bad at crime, like, why that wouldn't have been his first thing. Because he ends up, like, he, like, goes pee in that mug later on. And so he had enough time to, like, start charging his phone. I don't know. Joe is just, like, bad at prioritizing stuff. He'd rather just, like, jerk off into Beck's clothes than like actually take care of his needs.
But like he goes up to the room and he spots the leggings from like his fucking before he's even in the house, being like, those are the ones that you wore when we had sex. Oh, those leggings. And then like when he's finally inside, he like has this weird fantasy in his brain where he like holds them and it's like, man, I'm hard again, and it's like you're wrapping around me with the leggings, and it's so gross.
It's so weird.
Yeah, like it's cotton. It's just like they're just leggings.
All I could remind myself of when he was doing that was do you remember when Cotton like had commercials? When they got, like, Colby Calais and to do commercials. So when he was doing that, I was just, like, thinking of their jingle.
The touch, the feel.
Yes!
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It's awful. But yeah, I was just like, listen, I get it. I know people, like, need their cup of joe, like, literally their cup of joe. But I was like,
literal joe.
But I was like, why did you not just go to the bathroom? Whatever. Yeah. But yeah, so Beck and Peach, like, get back, and he's, like, stuck, it seems like, upstairs, and Beck is, like, crying. And so he's like, well, the only thing that I can do, because Beck's crying, is I have to go pee in this mug now. Like, there's no choice.
Duh. I must.
And I
hope was he finished with the coffee? I
fucking hope so.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I hope it's in, like, at least an empty mug and not just a weird mix of, like...
And here's the thing about this one, is, like, at least in this scenario, it makes more sense because as we find out later, like, he has an opportunity to go down what they say is the servant stairs. Fucking Peach. And hopefully he can, like, dump out this in the sink and, like, leave it there. Right. Whereas in a TV show, he just grabbed one of those, like, mason jars and left it there. So I hope... I hope so.
Joseph.
Or he can, like, take it with him when he leaves the house and, like, dump it out into the dirt. Like, or something. Sure. I don't know.
There are options.
Yeah. There are more options than there were last time.
Yeah.
Anyways, we find out, Peach is hugging Beck in the mudroom because we find out that Benji's parents have made a statement that they think he is presumed dead because his boat is gone, it seems like. There's like his boat has somehow become destroyed, and it seems like from this that Joe didn't do that.
No, that's what he's implying, at least. Like, he's saying, like, oh, I'm totally in the clear because, like, there's nothing that traces me to this and, like, whatever. But then that leads to the question of what the fuck happened to the boat?
I agree. Now I'm very intrigued of...
Like, is that another web that's gonna get fucking tied together? I'm so confused. Why are there so many elements here?
Yeah, how did this somehow become more complicated?
This is a fucking Agatha Christie novel. What's going on? I'm tired.
Yeah, this shouldn't be as difficult as it is. Of course, Peach is like, I understand you're, like, so upset right now. And so she's like, let's just go to Turks and Caicos because, sure, great choice. And sure, great, let's just throw a dart on the map. And Beck is like, well, I have school. And she's like, oh yeah, sure. And then Peach, of course, because she's sweaty from running on the beach and is in apparently all, like, latex and spandex, is just, like, getting out of all of her sweaty clothes, which, like, sure, I get it.
Yeah.
And she's just doing that as Beck is, like, still sobbing, which is that's a fucking mental picture right there.
Right. Welcome to my twisted mind.
Yeah. She's like, listen, I totally get it. You're, like, going through something.
Anyway, look at my tits.
Yeah.
I know you're grieving and things are sad or whatever, but...
Yeah.
Look over here.
And so they're, like, trying to change or something, and Peach is, like, offering her a smoothie, I think. Like a peach... No, a kale smoothie. There's so many food words here.
Yeah.
But I guess the blender sounds gave Joe enough, like, leeway to get down the stairs. Which,
to creak on down.
Just to creak on down. Can you imagine if on The Price is Right, that's what Bob Barker had said? Just like, creak on down.
And all the stairs are from the 1700s, and you just walk down, and you could just fall down at any moment through the fucking floorboards.
It honestly would have made a lot of sense, because, like, if you think about the demographic of people that played that, they do have pretty old bones, so, like,
yeah.
just creak on down.
Put us on the staff.
Yeah. So apparently they're both in just, like, matching big old robes now.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes after your morning run, you just need a glass of scotch and a smoothie, and you just need to chill in a robe, you know?
Can't say no to that.
Sometimes you just need that. And sometimes you just need your friend to just rub your feet a little.
Yeah.
And then
it gets bad.
And then Beck, because she's grieving and thinking about how, like, she is sad about Benji, but then she's also like, he treated me like shit, and, like, I'm missing my friends who aren't here, and I miss Joe, and she's just, like, not in her head at the moment. I at least thought that she's very much, like, disassociating. She's, like, not there in the moment.
Right. Yeah.
And so when she's like, when Peach says, like, you need a massage, Beck laughs. And the way that I interpreted that was very much a, like, I don't know. To me, it didn't feel like consent so much as it was just like, that's like funny.
Yeah. And that's like a common, I feel like, what is the word I'm trying to think of here? It's a common reaction when you're, like, in a compromising situation.
Yeah.
To just be like, to make your brain feel like like what is happening isn't happening,
Right.
and that things are good. Oftentimes, like, that's an instinctual thing that happens. Just be like, this is cool, and I'm definitely not uncomfortable or don't feel safe in this environment.
Yeah, when you're in your very rich friend's house who's
Right.
giving you all this stuff.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and also, yeah, she could feel like, not that she owes anything to Peach, but like that they have an interesting relationship that can change when they're drunk or, you know, things like that. And
Yeah.
that Peach could be reading all of those signs together as like clear consent, where it's obviously really not the case.
Right. Yeah. And so I definitely read the next scene of Peach interpreting this as consent when it's very much not.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, then it's like Joe is there, and it's like, what is happening?
Like, I didn't need your perspective on this situation, because he gets, like, bad about it.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is bad, and he's, like, pointing out that it's bad, but it's like, we don't need to hear from him that it's bad, right? Like, we get it.
I got it.
And the way that he is saying it's bad is, like, in a way that makes it just seem like their whole dynamic is inherently predatory. You know what I mean? Like, that fact that Peach is just, like, instinctually, like, a monster and all these things. And it's just, like, being like, well, if it was me, this would never happen, and I always give you my space, and, like, all of this, like, fucking bullshit. It's just so gross. Because, like, you're seeing, he just is like, oh, you know, you're so codependent with Peach, and, like, Peach is obsessed with you, and she always is there, and I like take a step back when I need to. Meanwhile, he's checking all of your fucking social media shit 24/7, and
Right.
he's thinking about you all the fucking time, and doesn't give you a fucking break. It just assumes, like, gives you the idea that you have space, but you don't actually have any fucking space.
Yeah, I feel like
what the fuck are you talking about?
I feel like if this was a Black Mirror scene, he would be saying this while, like, literally viewing this through Beck's eyes.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
He would still be unable to, like, separate or, like, understand that he is crossing boundaries.
Right.
It's gross.
And he's, like, in a way, he's, like, getting off on, like, how good this makes him look.
It is. Yeah. It's gross.
Because, like, as soon as it's over, it's not like, oh, Beck, let me help you. Like, because, I mean, obviously he can't, 'cause he has to cover a blow. But he's also like, oh, the second Peach leaves, you're going to call me. And it's going to be good again.
Yep.
And I'll be there to save you. And it'll be great. It's like, how about you care about a human being's feelings? God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's definitely that point of, like, because, like, Peach leaves, and, he's like, you cry, and how dare she lay this all on you, and he's like, I'm shaking, this is it, here you come, call me back, call me, but you dial a number, and my phone doesn't vibrate, and then this is the part where he's like, you go upstairs and pound on the door, and then I push through the saloon-style doors and leave. And it's like, you're not like, no one thinks you are involved on this. You are just inserting yourself into this space. So, it's just like, gross. Joe, like, no one wants you in on this space here.
Yep.
I honestly don't know where this is. I mean, I know, like, I watched a TV show, but, like,
I've seen a television show.
I've seen a show before. But yeah, I'm very curious where this is gonna go from here, because we still have so much of this book left. But we've got a couple chapters left. We got chapters 33 and 34 next week.
Woo!
So I'm very curious from what we've got left and how this is gonna tie up with the rest of the TV show. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We have some patience what
Hell yeah, baby.
would you like to share with them this week? I'm looking at some of these BuzzFeed quiz titles, and I think there's
good?
there's something
stuff
here.
in it? Yeah, let's go on to the dark side of BuzzFeed.
The dark web.
I just wrote BuzzFeed.com/quiz. Cute, easy.
Good. Love that.
Thank you. All right. Shout out to Sophia Salinger.
Pew!
Who's gonna be... Ooh, everyone is either a witch, vampire, or werewolf. Which one are you?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. Shout out to Erin Salinger.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Who's gonna be okay. Order a fancy 4-course meal and we'll reveal which kids menu item you are.
Ooh, elegant. Ooh. Shout out to Alex Blythe.
Ooh.
Who's gonna be... Can you remember which movies Michael Keaton has been in?
Oh my god. Honestly, maybe. Shout out to Taylor Browntown Lautner.
Braver than the Marines.
Who's gonna be... The bedroom you design will reveal if you're more Hallie or Annie from The Parent Trap.
Ooh, I'm glad that people are still talking about The Parent Trap.
Honestly, same.
It's what they deserve.
I agree.
Shout out to Katie Weber.
Woo!
Who's gonna be... What percent Keanu Reeves are you?
Ooh. I'm gonna just take that. Just really quick.
Sorry, one moment, actually. I gotta
Just,
find out what percentage.
Really, just really quick, actually. Shout out to Simon Steele.
Ugh. Yes.
I'm gonna try to rein it in today, Simon. I'm just gonna say your name and I'm gonna move on. And Simon, I don't know what you like or how much you even know about things, but I'm gonna say build an autumn outfit and we'll reveal if you are a pumpkin spice or apple cider candle.
Ooh.
There's only two. There's only two genders.
That's it.
And honestly, I don't even know.
It's a tough choice for sure.
I'm not a pumpkin spice kind of person, I'll be honest.
Whoa.
It's
Hot
just
takes.
it's too consuming. I feel suffocated when
It is overwhelming for sure. Yeah.
I'm just not.
It's an intense aura.
Yeah, and it's not my aura, I'll be honest. Okay. So, Taylor Browntown Lautner sent in a fan fiction this week. And it was prefaced. So I would like to provide you with that preface today.
Thank you.
Because it is not technically a fan fiction. It is fan fiction-esque. So this is what Taylor Brown sent. Hello. So I recently learned that Stephenie Meyer posted outtakes of some of the Twilight books on her website. This one is particularly long, but pretty funny. I would suggest starting, so that's, I found a place, because that's where it gets pretty good. For context, Edward starts sending Bella money through a fake scholarship reward after he's left her in New Moon, and she keeps trying to get him to take it back. So that is the context for you.
Thank you.
Yes. So this is where she first finds out where it is. And apparently the person helping her at the bank is Jessica's mom.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Well, I guess I have some good news for you, though I can't imagine how you wouldn't have been informed of this. She stared at me critically, as if expecting me to slap my forehead and say, "Oh, that 20 grand. Slipped my mind completely." "Good news?" I prompted. The words implied that this mistake was too complicated for her to unravel, and she was under the impression that I was richer than we'd thought a few minutes ago. Well, if you really don't know, then congratulations. You've been awarded a scholarship from, she looked down at her scribbled notes, the Pacific Northwest Trust. A scholarship? I repeated in disbelief. Yes, isn't that exciting? My goodness, you'll be able to go to any college you want. It was at that precise moment, while she beamed happily at my good fortune, that I knew exactly where the money had come from. Despite the sudden rush of anger, suspicion, outrage, and pain, I tried to speak calmly. A scholarship that deposits $20,000 cash into my account, I noted, instead of paying it to the school, with no way to make sure I use the money for school at all. My reaction flustered her. She seemed to take offense at my words. It would be very unwise not to use this money for its intended purpose, Bella dear. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Of course, I said sourly. And did this Pacific Northwest Trust mention exactly why they'd chosen me? She looked at her notes again, a slight frown on her face due to my tone. It's very prestigious. They don't award a scholarship like this every year. I'll bet. She glanced at me and looked away swiftly. The bank in Seattle that manages the trust forwarded me to the man who administers the scholarship allocations. He said that the scholarship is awarded based on merit, gender, and location. It's geared to female students in small towns who don't have the opportunities available in larger cities. It appeared that someone thought he was being funny. Merit? I asked disapprovingly. I have a 3.7 GPA. I can name 3 girls in Forks with better grades than I have, and one of them is Jessica. Besides, I never applied for this scholarship. She was very flustered now, picking up her pen and putting it down again, wearing the pendant she wore between her thumb and forefinger. She scanned through her notes again. He did mention that. She kept her eyes down on the envelope, not sure what to do with that attitude. They don't accept applications. They go through rejected applications for other scholarships and pick students who they feel have been unfairly overlooked. End scene.
Boy, howdy.
Super legal.
Yup.
Oh, Edward, you were the worst liar.
God.
What up? My name's Edward Cullen, and I am a great liar.
And I watched a clown fucking die at a circus.
He died in this little car, and I never went to the circus again.
Joke car.
And all I wanted was some cotton candy.
God damn it.
I just wanted to look at an elephant, god damn it. I didn't even want to ride it or touch it. I just wanted to look at it and maybe draw a pretty picture.
Oh, poor guy.
Fuck. Well, as you say in Seattle,
Get bit.
and get whipped.
Woo!
This is an Earbud Media production. You can find us on Twitter at Earbud Media and listen to the rest of our shows. You can find this show on Twitter at Into the Twilight, as well as intothetwilight.show. You can send us an email at intothetwilightshow@gmail.com. You can also become a sponsor of the show or buy some merch at intothetwilight.bigcartel.com. Our art is done by Maddie Padilla, who you can find at YourGhostHost44 on Instagram, and our music is done by Eli Krause, you can find at Eli Sauerkraus and KrauseFilms.com. The intro and outro is by KB Smith, who you can find at KB__Smith on Twitter. You can find Allie on Twitter at Into Wild Places, and you can find me at Dyke Discourse.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.